October 7th of 2023 is the day that will live in infamy in the history of the Jewish people. October 7th was the deadliest day for the Jews since the Holocaust in 1945, when it ended in 1945. Since that fateful day, Latin America, what's happening in the continent, what we're seeing is an explosion of anti-Semitism. Specifically, 3 Latin American countries, Colombia, Honduras, and Chile, recalled their ambassadors to Israel shortly after Israel began defending itself. Bolivia cut off diplomatic relations with Israel completely, accusing Israel of crimes against humanity. Colombia, President Gustavo Petro compared Israel to the Nazis, saying that they treated Gaza like the Warsaw Ghetto. In addition, Mr. Petro said Colombia will stop buying weapons from Israel. Honduras, the shadow president of the country, Manuel Zelaya, the husband of the actual president, said that you are not human and a criminal if you take the side of Israel. Brazil, President Gustavo Lula da Silva said that Israel is repeating the Holocaust and that Israelis are the new Nazis of this era. Chile, President Gabriel Boric just banned Israel from Latin America's largest aerospace fair. Mexico, President AMLO, López Obrador, recalled the Mexican ambassador to Israel, and it is supporting the persecution of Israel in an international court. It's obvious that for what we have seen and what's happening in the Hemisphere, the fact that in Brazil alone, there has been a 1,000% increase in anti-Semitic attacks in the last few months. This is not the first time that these leaders, unfortunately, have spoken or have shown their prejudice against the state of Israel. Let me just give you another couple of examples. In 2014, President Petro from Colombia retweeted a comment calling someone a judía asquerosa. That means in Spanish, a disgusting Jew. In 2019, Gabriel Boric, again, the president of Chile, returned a jar of honey the Jewish community of that country had sent to him in a gesture of friendship. And he said, why don't you stop stealing the land of the Arabs instead? It is despicable, as I'm sure you agree, that the heads of state have these type of opinions, but it's even more concerning to us that these leaders that I just mentioned are the favorite partners of the Biden administration in the Western Hemisphere. In the meantime, other countries like Paraguay, Guatemala, and the Dominican Republic, they have condemned the Hamas attack in the most forceful terms and have stood with Israel at international forums around the world. But unfortunately, they have received little thanks from the Biden administration. And what does that say? What type of message does that send? That some of the enemies of Israel are the friends of the American White House. And that standing with Israel does not get you too much gratitude or too much friendship under the Biden administration. It is worrisome that under this administration, being on board with the woke agenda seems a little bit more important than being on board with the right side of history. We're supposed to support Israel around the world. Let's fix this starting right here in our own hemisphere with our own White House. I yield back.